I'm Dr. Shubhra Goyal and I am an eye and face plastic and cosmetic surgeon. Welcome to Manghat. Today, let's talk about or touch upon one of the other very important topics where, usually the clients walk in and ask me, is this treatment for me? And if yes, how far can I go with it? And are they for me practically? Today, as we know that there are lots and lots of treatments, both surgical and non-surgical, available to enhance or to rejuvenate or to change facial and body features. And everybody wants it. To add on to it, our Google doctor, as we call, feeds in a lot of information. Now, some of it is right and some of it may not be. So it kind of creates a lot of confusion in, people's mind that whether this is right, wrong, or, is it safe for them? Should we be going with that treatment? And if yes, how long, how far, how often they should do? So there are multiple questions, multiple doubts in people's mind. Let's kind of break it into segments and try to understand this. Let's look at what is available in the market, right? In the market, we have varied amount of technologies available in addition to surgical methods where you can enhance whatever you want on your face and body. I mean, you name it and you can do it. I remember some person saying that if God has not given to me, my doctor can give it to me. So, we belong to that era of technology and science. But the question is, do you really want to go with all these treatments at one go? Should it be given in a staged manner, or who should be giving it to you? I mean, these are very valid questions which as a patient or a client would come to your mind. Now, as a cosmetic surgeon, plastic surgeon, I wouldn't say that the modern treatments are wrong, bad, or should not be done. But yes, there is always a word of caution that it should be done in moderation. It has to be done by a trained physician in a very tailor-made manner. Every individual has to be assessed. Treatment has to be planned for him or her based on their requirement. I always stress upon the point that you need to have an understanding of realistic expectations out of the treatment. For example, somebody wants lips like so-and-so star, or their ideal person, or a face like X person. You are born with some kind of a face, feature and a body. You cannot really transform it 360 degree. What the treatments can do is to just enhance the beautiful features which you already have to a certain extent. So the realistic expectations are of paramount importance in these treatments. Body dysmorphic syndrome is something which is very, very prevalent in today's generation. And I would like to bring in my example here. Before this journey where, I could control my mind, my thoughts, I always thought that I don't have a very beautiful nose and the lower part of the face. And I used to curse it quite a bit. It's okay, you can curse it, there is no end to it. But what it does to you is that the only thing you focus in your life or on your face would be your nose and your mouth, right? So everything would start revolving around it. And no matter what treatment is given to you, you would never be happy with it. So when the clients walk into my clinic and ask for multiple treatments at the same time, or would say that I went to so-and-so and this I took so-and-so treatment and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's kind of a red flag for us where we have to sit down and explain them what they are born with, what they can expect out of the treatment, and what is the end point. So no matter what we do or what we give, the person would never be happy with the treatment if that thought process continues. And that's what I mean by body dysmorphic syndrome. So this is one part of the conversation that, is it right for me and how far should I go? Yes, every treatment can be right or wrong for you, provided your physician knows what to do about it, provided you are in the right hands, provided you have done your homework enough with your physician and they have told you what is the best treatment for you. How far can you go? There is no limit to it because you can do whatever you want on your face and body. At the end of it, it is your face and body. But as I always say, understand and love your body the way it is. Enhance it. Beautify it to an extent where it looks beautiful. I know beauty is a very subjective terminology, but the pre and post which you see on social media sometimes can be really overwhelming and they're not so true. The other part of the thing is where people are actually scared of these treatments and they feel they are not for us, they are not for them. Gone are the days when these treatments were given to the page 3 personalities or the people from the high strata of societies or who could afford it. Now these treatments have actually walked into our kitchens. When I say kitchen, middle class housewives, IT graduates, or common people like you and me, all of them are taking these treatments. Why? It makes you feel better. As I said, if you look good, you feel better, you look good. So it's kind of interrelated. It boosts their morale. It makes them more confident. Now, I had clients, especially from the IT sectors, and believe me, not women, men, who have walked in and said, I couldn't clear my interview because I had dark circles. Now, I couldn't be taken into probably XYZ job because my face does not look too masculine, right? So these are the things which we need to cater and must cater, because it kind of is a question of their profession life, their confidence, and the way they're going to lead their life forward, because at the end of it, your mental peace also matters. So what I would like to say here is these treatments are for everyone. They are absolutely safe. Now, when I say safe, obviously you have to go to the trained physicians, whether you're a surgeon or a non-surgical person. They have to be done in moderation. Don't go and do these treatments repeatedly just because you feel that if I do one treatment, I can do the other treatment, and the more treatment I do, the better I would look. No. So I call the cosmetic treatments like diet. Unless it's in a balanced form, in a properly laid, colored manner with, there are portions which are absolutely laid down, it can go either way. So if you don't do it well or you underdo it, you will not get results. If you overdo it, you may get results which may not be right or apt or look good on your face or your body. So I always relate these two things. Don't be scared of these treatments, but they come with the element where there is a very thin line of demarcation or control between how much should you do, where you should do, and where you should stop. I take Botox regularly on my face, but does that mean I take Botox every 1 month, every 2 months? No, I take Botox, I let it sit on my face, I let it be with my face, and the day I feel the expressions or the lines are coming back and it's making me not look the way I want to look, I would go back for the dose in moderation, right? I took fillers on my face, and unfortunately or fortunately, they didn't work well on my face. I had a lot of swelling. So that means I know that this product is not for my face, and even if somebody recommends it or I want to do it, I would say no, this is a stop for me, and I know it's not going to work for me. I'm into the industry, I know what is right and wrong, but as a layman, it is very important to sit with your physician, understand what is right, wrong for you, whether it works for you or not, do it in moderation, and play safe. Play in moderation. Let me bring another point to your, to our discussion, is that, I'm, stressing upon this point, all this would not matter unless your thoughts are correct. So you're sitting in front of the doctor and saying, I want to look probably XYZ. I want to become better version of myself. But internally you're thinking, oh my God, I'm feeling so low. I'm not happy. Oh, why this happens with me? And so on and so forth. Believe me, no treatment you do, it is not going to do any good to you. You have to feel it internally. I'm going to talk about genetics and epigenetics in another section. We'll kind of try to correlate it, how your internal thought processes, how you create the environment around you, how you feel while you're working, what you eat, drink, sleep, what you constantly think matters and changes the way all these treatments, modalities work in amalgamation with each other. So when I see my client, I sit with them not for consultation, I sit with them for a conversation. So when I say me as a physician and I say you as a client, we need to have a conversation to understand where we stand in our life today in terms of what we feel about ourselves, what we think about ourselves, what are we doing to ourselves, plus yes, what do you want for yourself? So the physical aspect of it is what you want for yourself and what you feel and what you're doing to yourself. Unless we marry these two, I personally believe they don't work. And I have seen it on myself, right? So I am a live example of what I'm talking and sharing with you. Remember our ancestors, our grandmothers, grandparents, they never walked into the clinics for these treatments. Why? There were two reasons. One, of course, the awareness was not there. Treatments were not available to an extent where they are today. Experts were not available. So that's one part of it. But the second part of it is they ate natural, they lived naturally, they didn't have so many complicated thoughts. They had a very simple life and they loved themselves, So I think that those factors are missing in today's modern life. So we have to bring them all together along with the treatments which are available in the market to be given to us in the best possible way. So to achieve the best versions of yourself, go for everything in moderation, discuss out with your physician, just enjoy the whole process. So if you like the content of this video, do like, share and subscribe to Managhat.